Hi everyone, welcome back to Simply Sports Science. If you've ever hit the gym, smashed a tough training session, or even just done a workout that's totally new to you, then you've probably experienced the infamous DOMS. That deep muscle ache that sneaks up on you a day or two later and makes climbing stairs feel like an Olympic sport. Today, as part of our Sports Science series, we're unpacking everything you need to know about DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. We'll explore what it is, why it happens, how to deal with it, and most importantly, how it connects to your studies if you're working towards GCSE, A-level or IB sports science. So stick with us, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand DOMS, but you'll also have some great tips to handle it and ace those exam questions related to it. So what is DOMS? DOMS stands for Delayed Onset Muscle Soreness, and it usually kicks in around 24 to 72 hours after intense or unfamiliar exercise. It's not the same as the burning sensation you feel during exercise, which is due to lactic acid buildup. DOMS is that deeper, lingering stiffness and soreness that you feel later after training. And this is a really important distinction, and one that examiners love. Students often confuse lactic acid with DOMS, but DOMS actually has nothing to do with lactic acid. Instead, it's all about what happens to our muscle fibers after we exercise. When you train, especially with eccentric contractions, that's when the muscle lengthens whilst under tension, tiny micro tears form in your muscle fibers. These micro tears trigger an inflammatory response within the body. That inflammation increases sensitivity within the muscles and the surrounding tissues, which is why you feel stiff and sore. Your body then gets to work repairing the muscle fibers, and in doing so makes them stronger, denser, and more resistant to future stress. That's why DOMS is actually a sign of adaptation and progression. It's your body's way of saying, okay, that was tough, but I'll rebuild you better for next time. Think about the first time you tried a new fitness class, or the first football pre-season session after a long summer break. You probably walked away thinking you were fine, but the next day your quads, your hamstrings, or your calves were screaming at you. That's the impact of DOMS in action. Even everyday activities can trigger it. Ever moved house and spent the day carrying boxes, or played a sport that you haven't tried in years? The soreness that follows is DOMS reminding you that your muscles weren't used to that workload. Elite athletes also experience DOMS. Marathon runners often feel it after hill sessions, rugby players after heavy tackling drills, or sprinters starting block practice. It's universal. Nobody escapes DOMS, not even the very highest elite performers. So how do we manage DOMS? What works and what doesn't? Here's what the science says. We need active recovery. Gentle exercise like cycling, swimming, or walking can increase the blood flow into the muscles and reduce stiffness. We need stretching and mobility work. While stretching doesn't prevent DOMS itself, it can ease the discomfort and help you move better. We need good nutrition, because as we know, protein helps repair muscle fibers and carbohydrates help restore energy stores. Hydration also plays a key role here. And massage and foam rolling can have benefits. This can temporarily reduce soreness and improve the circulation to muscles. But let's do some myth busting too. DOMS is not lactic acid hanging around inside the muscles. Lactic acid clears within an hour after exercise. You don't need to be sore to make progress. Training can be effective without crippling DOMS. And ice baths and gadgets are not magic fixes. They may help in the short term, but adaptation and consistency matter most. So let's quickly run through the essentials. DOMS stands for Delayed Onset Muscle Soreness. It appears between 24 and 72 hours after exercise, especially after eccentric work. It is caused by micro tears in muscle fibers and the body's inflammatory response to those tears. And in the long term, it leads to adaptation. Muscles grow back stronger. It's managed best with active recovery, good nutrition, and consistency. So next time you're struggling to sit down after leg day, remember that's DOMS, and it's your body's way of building back stronger. So we shouldn't fear it, we should learn from it, and most importantly, we don't want to confuse it with lactic acid. That's a guaranteed mark loss in your exams. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive into DOMS. If this has helped, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and if you want to keep learning, head over to simplysportscience.co.uk, which is packed with resources for GCSE, A-level and IB students.